He doesn't care about the money, the fame, the glory. We've made the correct person famous. How can you get a better representation of the sport? My personal opinion is he is the next Cbum. Coach Greg, in today's video, we're going to be going over the aftermath of Sam Sulek's victory at his very first competition. On his Instagram, already 1.8 million likes. I haven't seen anyone cheer for a person as much as Sam Sulek since Cbum.
Skinny bitch.
Is Sam Sulek the next Cbum? I, in fact, think that he is. The biggest names in the industry have come out in support of Sam Sulek. Jay Cutler, Derek Lunsford, Johnny Munster, Seth Feroce, Phil Heath, the Trend Twins, Regan Grimes, Joey Swoll, Hanny Rambod, Milo Sarcev. The list goes on and on. Even Mike Israetel himself, the godfather of bodybuilding, the man with the smartest IQ of any coach in the world, he writes, congratulations. And so in response to Dr. Mike Israetel's congratulations, I see the following messages. Bro, if only you had this tan. Lat spread fart sound. Blue Lobster. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
All I feel is rage. Does this mean Sam's way of training is better than your RP, that stands for really pale, hypertrophy style BS, Mike? Perhaps we'll see Sam Sulek after perhaps turning pro. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Perhaps he can then take on Mike Israetel as a future client and get Mike an IPB Pro card. And of course, a man we haven't heard much of as of late, more plates, more dates. Dialed, congrats, dude. And so in response to Derek's comment, the fake sup goat has spoken. Fake T-plug. Damn, he needs to make another video. And so we've all missed Derek. He hasn't been making videos as of late. But do you know what else you've been missing? Turkesterone. We're again out of stock. And so I wanted to let you know that I no longer have to smuggle 50 keys across the border. From now on, it's being manufactured and packaged in blister packs, and it's all done in Uzbekistan. And so we hope to have it back in stock by the end of the week. Now, if you want to get it before it sells out, it's so difficult to keep it in stock. Please go to the website and click on the Notify Me button. You'll be the first to find out because I guarantee it's going to sell out again. And so if you want to get the actual Ajuga turkistanica from Uzbekistan, not the copycat plant from China, you got to get it from HTLT Supplements, code Greg, 15% off. And so many people have criticized Sam, saying he wasn't lean enough.
You want those glutes out, Sam? Again, not necessary. You got to lose like 5 or 10 more pounds, and it's going to suck even worse.
Other guys saying he wasn't lean enough in the legs, that he didn't bring it. Guys, Sam was, as Derek from More Plates, More Dates used to say, he was diced to the socks. Now, one error that Sam did in fact make, which he describes in his latest video.
In terms of the actual prep, stay a little bit drier going into show day.
Why exactly is that? I'll tell you why. In an interview, he commented saying that he had taken in 900 grams of carbs in order to carb up. Along with that, he drank a lot of water. His weight limit, 217 pounds. He weighed in at 216 pounds, but he stated in his previous video that he competed at 224. That is up 8 pounds. And so because of the extra carbs and water that was consumed, he in fact began to spill over. His legs could not be displayed to the best of his ability. Exhibit A, look at his Jay Cutler quad stomp impersonation after he does the weigh-in. Does that look like he's not shredded? He has striations on the vastus medialis, the teardrop, and the lateralis. Everything is peeled. But when he gets up on stage, I don't see all of that. And so what could have happened? I'll tell you what happened. Water. Water blurs the lines. That is why many athletes take diuretics before a competition, because by peeing out that excess water, it reduces that thin film of water that's covering those striations. But if you consume too much water, you eat too much food, you spill over and those lines will be blurred. And that is what I believe happened to Sam Sulek.
I get a bit of a refeed tonight, so, even yesterday too. 900 grams of carbs so far, really got to fill it back up.
Now, remember, in my video, I predicted he probably had about 1,000 grams of carbs in order to carb up, and it was revealed that he had 900. People were sending me DMs, Coach Greg, you almost nailed it.
It's almost like I've overcompensated by holding on to as much water as I can get my hands on.
Since the competition, Sam has continued to bloat up. He's drinking water as of normal, but his body is overcompensating. He has inflammation, he has swelling, and this in fact can be very dangerous. If you gain too much weight following a competition, it places a lot of undue strain on the heart, the cardiovascular system. And so it's very important for him to get back to baseline, to homeostasis. And so one excellent thing that you can do is to continue to do cardio. And so he goes and does an hour and a half, an hour on the bike, followed by 30 minutes on the treadmill. That is burning up some of the calories, the excess glycogen stores, the carbohydrates that he was consuming, the treats and so on. And he's burning that off. Also, it's going to allow his body to sweat. His body is overcompensated, is holding way too much water. And so by doing this cardio, it's going to sweat off some of that water, burn off some of those calories, and allow him to get back to normal. Remember, in order to store body fat, you need a surplus of calories. And on Friday and Saturday, carbing up for the competition, he certainly was consuming in excess. And so if he doesn't burn any of those calories off, he's eventually going to store some extra body fat. And because of his competition, in less than 10 days, he needs to get back on a diet.
A variety of posing changes. I've got some judges' feedback kind of inbound. So that's going to be a big chunk of it, how I wear the actual posing trunks.
This is an excellent suggestion. But you know what's even better? You need to wear smaller trunks. It looked like you were wearing a bathing suit on stage. There was too much coverage on the glutes. It's hiding some of the details. And by wearing thinner straps to the side, it's going to allow you to show that much more detail. Why not display them? If you have shredded glutes and they're being covered up, the judges don't see it. And what they can't see, they can't judge. With that change alone, it's going to dramatically improve its placings.
I'm used to having them a little bit lower on my waist. Whereas in more of a posing context, you want them kind of right up against that crease of your adductors in your waist.
So you want to hike it up so you can see the sartorius. This muscle in the center of the leg, he wants to show that off.
Some hip hinging to get my medial quads popping out more and just generally keeping my legs flexed.
And the next thing he needs to do is he needs to work on holding his leg poses. You can't just stand there and flex the upper body. The posing starts from the ground up. Always begin by flexing your legs first and then flex the upper body. If you do the reverse, oftentimes you're going to forget. And so it was his very first competition and he did exquisitely well. He did amazing. But there's of course room for improvement. And to earn his IFBB Pro card against guys who are at the highest of the highest levels, all gunning for a pro card themselves, he needs to properly display the quads. He's got them. They're shredded. And he's going to get even leaner. But he needs to flex them for the judges to reward his hard work.
In terms of the look, here's what I'm aiming for. Get a touch leaner, because now I've got 10 or so days of more calorie deficit, right? Cardio and everything else.
And so in 10 days of dieting, let's say a 700 calorie deficit, that would be 7,000 calories. And at Sam's weight, that's about 1% body fat. And so imagine he competes at the Arnold's, and rather than being sub 5% body fat, he's now sub 4. Do you know how much difference that can make? To go from 5% to 4, it's 20% leaner. The striations, the detail will be mesmerizing. Remember, when I coached Joe Els and Ian Valère, the striations of the glutes, it made no sense. You almost wanted to look away. You couldn't believe a human being looked like that. And so at this level of competition, to get an IFBB Pro card, this is what the judges are looking for.
Strength-wise, I feel like I'm ready to have a good lift. But I was kind of teetering like, all right, should I do arms or Should I just rest?
It's great to see that Sam's learning. He was debating doing an arm workout after dehydrating, flying, and so on. This is not the time to take risks. Previously, he had injured his chest after flying. And so when your body is in a compromised state from dehydration, fluid loss, and so on, it's not the time to really push it. Remember, Sam should only be training at 75% at this point. Sam likes to train to failure and beyond, but do you know how easy it is to tear a bicep, a pec, to injure yourself when you're this dehydrated and this far shredded? It's very easy, and so he knows this, and so he's going to back off just a little bit.
A little bit of a kind of a tuna salad looking thing with 3 rice cakes.
And so essentially for the next 10 days, it's going to be very simple. Tuna and rice cakes, yogurt with berries for a treat, combined with egg whites and lean meats, and that's about it.
Maybe some that are just straight up protein, or maybe like sometimes when I'll do like a yogurt mixed with frozen berries and like some low sugar free like syrup and stuff on top.
And notice he uses still the sugar-free syrups as well as sugar sweeteners and so on, and so he's not going too crazy, but he is being more restrictive. He's cut out protein bars and so on, but if he were to have a protein bar, I would strongly suggest the Kaiko bar. Remember, Dr. Mike Isertel loved the taste of the Kaiko bar in his mouth. He also said, had excellent structural integrity. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Greg.
I mean, they've qualified just like I did, so from all their different kind of spaces and everything else. So that's a good motivating factor for me, because I know there's some damn sharks in the water.
And so Sam knows he has his work cut out for him. He calls them sharks in the water. They're gunning for him. They're gunning for their IPB Pro card. Will he in fact win? Will he lose? Well, listen, Sam just wants to be the best version of himself. He has no expectations aside from he wants to display a better physique at the Arnold's than he did in his last competition. He has his head screwed on straight. He's an excellent role model for the sport. And so I do believe that, as many people have said, that we've made the correct person famous. Of all the people that I've followed, I do believe he is the most in tune with his body, that he wants it the most, that his life is bodybuilding. If it's close at the Arnold Amateurs, I do believe Sam is going to win. After all, who is going to replace Cbum? Of all the athletes competing, I do believe that Sam Sulek could garner the greatest audience of all. Although he doesn't have the genetics of Cbum, and I personally don't think he'll ever win a Mr. Olympia title. But does that really matter?
It doesn't matter!
We don't have to worship the greatest of all time. But an athlete like this, disciplined, dedicated, that puts in everything into his craft, despite the fact that, well, he doesn't have the best genetics in the world, it doesn't matter. He doesn't need to win. As long as he puts out his best, that he tries harder than last time, people are going to root for him. He doesn't care about the money, the fame, the glory, none of that stuff. He just bodybuilds because he has the passion for it. My personal opinion is he is the next Cbum. The person that the sport needs in order to grow and gather a new audience. Cbum put classic physique on the map, but Sam Sulek can put bodybuilding on the map. And what exactly is bodybuilding? Going to the gym, training your ass off, eating healthy, doing your cardio, and competing. Displaying your physique. Remember in the past I said Sam Sulek is not a bodybuilder? He a bodybuilder now. Bro competed, and had he have gotten last, still a bodybuilder. But the fact that he won not only first in his weight class, but first in the overall, and is now competing at the Arnold Classic, how can you get a better representation of the sport? And so please go and follow Sam Sulek as if you aren't already following him, and wish him luck on his journey to become an IFBB Pro in classic physique. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch one of those 2 bloops. And of course, encourage Sam to go and get the friggin' cookbook, the Circle diet book, the training books. Well, he probably doesn't need a training book, but he definitely needs the friggin' cookbook. Sam, get the cookbook! And we even have a clothing line. Get to the website. What are you waiting for? And until next time, I am out.